The VFW hall smelled like old coffee and lemon floor polish. Bingo cards clicked, and a scratched jukebox murmured a 70s ballad through one good speaker. I held a styrofoam cup that warmed my palms and steadied my breath. Carmen found me before the raffle. Navy blazer, sharp heels, voice tuned to carry. She didn't bother with hello. "Give me your bank card." I set my cup down. "No." Her hand shot out, palm up like a traffic stop. The bracelets chimed. "You owe me," she said, volume rising. Heads turned at nearby tables. "Someone muted the jukebox." "I don't," I said. "And please keep your voice down." "My tuition, my time, my everything," she barked. "Hand it over." "Not today." "Selfish girl," she hissed. First insult, short and practiced. I felt the ridges on the cup seam. "Don't match her heat, Remi. Grandpa's rule. Steady hands, steady eyes." Carmen leaned in, breath sharp with peppermint. "You're not getting far without me." I kept my voice even. "It's my account." Her face flushed. She lifted her chin toward the room. "Everybody should know she's using me." Murmurs. A veteran in a Legion cap frowned. I took one slow breath and stood. "We can discuss this outside." She stabbed a finger toward the door. "We're going now." We stepped into evening light, the flag rope clacking against the pole. A truck idled nearby, diesel mixing with fresh-cut grass. Carmen's hand was still out, demanding. "Last chance," she said. "No," I said again. She pulled out her phone. "Then I'm calling the sheriff." I watched a cloud move across the sun and felt the cup's warmth fading from my hands. If she calls, it all comes into daylight, I thought. Maybe daylight is where this belongs. She hit dial. The ringtone chirped like a cricket. I looked at the hall door, heard the jukebox restart inside, and braced for whatever the call would bring. Grandpa taught me numbers on diner napkins. He'd slide the mug toward me, black coffee for him, cocoa for me, and draw columns. "Money's a ledger, Remi," he'd say. "But dignity's the line you don't cross." The diner smelled like bacon and pine cleaner. The jukebox ate quarters and sang Patsy Cline when it felt generous. Carmen didn't love ledgers. She loved the picture, not the frame. In high school, she'd sign up for things because cameras were there. In college, she borrowed my car, then forgot gas. Over the years, she floated on favors and phone calls. I stacked shifts and saved. When Grandpa's small house passed to me, the will was plain. To Remi, who swept the porch and kept the calendar. Carmen said it was administrative. For now. She made herself at home, boxes in the hall, makeup on the sink edge, packages with my address and her name. "Family shares," she'd say, unlocking my pantry. "You owe me rent credit." "I'm covering the mortgage," I'd answer. "Please label your shelf," she laughed. "We'll square it later." Later never came. What did come were late-night demands, a handout at payday, and that phrase, "You owe me," worn thin as a coupon. So I learned different lines. I learned county forms by their paperweight. I learned a quiet Friday at the clerk's office beats a loud Monday anywhere. I learned the feel of embossed seals and the smell of fresh toner on an official copy. At the VFW last winter, I'd read names on a brass plaque until my eyes stung. Respect is a kind of math, I thought then. Add the hours nobody saw. Subtract the noise. Carmen never subtracted. When the bank flagged odd withdrawals, I walked the teller through each item, palms flat on the cool counter. "Freeze the card," I said, voice low. "Reshoot a branch pickup. ID check only," she nodded. "Smart." I left with a memo and a number scribbled by the manager. Good paper, firm texture, initials in blue ink. I slid it into a blue folder behind a thicker sheet. A certified, court-stamped exclusive right of possession order, issued after too many broken agreements and one last, long Tuesday in a tiled hallway. Back at the VFW door now, the memory snapped like a rubber band. The present returned with the chirp of Carmen's call connecting, and my name in her mouth. A cruiser rolled up 15 minutes later, lights off, engine quiet. The summer air tasted like hot metal. Deputy Hall stepped out, hat brim low, radio whispering static. I recognized him from the winter coat drive. He'd carried boxes like they weighed nothing. Carmen strode forward. "She's withholding my card. She owes me." Deputy Hall looked at both of us. "Ma'am, whose account is it?" "Mine," I said. "In my name only." Carmen flicked her wrist. "But I'm family. I live with her. I handle expenses. She promised. I kept my hands visible. The bank froze the old card. New one is branch pickup. I have documentation. Carmen pivoted to the onlookers drifting out from the raffle. She's cruel. Second insult and final per your rules, a couple from table 6 whispered. The Legion Cap veteran crossed his arms. Deputy Hall's voice stayed level. We're not forcing financial transfers. That's civil. Are there house issues? Yes, I said. Calm, Remi. I have a court order. Carmen scoffed loud enough for the parking lot. Her printouts don't matter. I glanced toward the flag, rope clacking steady. Grandpa's voice. Don't show all your cards until the dealer asks. Let's go to the residence, Deputy Hall said. We'll keep the peace. Carmen smiled like victory. Perfect. We drove in a slow line. Cruiser, Carmen's sedan, my old pickup with the bench seat polished smooth by years of county roads. The house greeted us with the scent of cut lilacs and fresh varnish. I'd redone the porch rail last week. The screen door creaked its old hymn. Carmen pushed ahead, jangling a key. My room. Stop, Hall said gently. We'll review first. Neighbors peeked over hedges. A lawn sprinkler clicked. I felt the weight of the blue folder in my tote, cardboard edges cool against my fingers. Not yet, I told myself. Wait for the ask. Carmen planted herself by the knob, hand out again. Give me the card. I met her eyes. No. The crowd's murmur gathered at the curb, a human tied just outside our fence line. Someone cut their engine. The quiet deepened until I could hear my own breath. Deputy Hall turned toward me. Ma'am, do you have those documents? I slid the zipper of my tote. The sound felt like a curtain lifting. I took out the blue folder. The cardstock had a faint linen texture, the kind Grandpa liked for letters. I placed it on the porch rail, the wood cool and steady under my palm. First, I said, bank memo confirming the freeze. I kept the page low, then handed it to Hall. Second, certified court order. The gold-embossed seal caught a shard of sun. Exclusive right of possession. Effective last Tuesday. Signed by Judge Keller. Carmen laughed too fast. Temporary. Meaningless. Hall read with his thumb resting on the seal. He didn't rush. The porch clock ticked. A neighbor's wind chimes answered a light breeze. I added one more sheet. Notice of termination of accommodation. 30 days given. Repeated violations documented. I didn't look at Carmen when I said it. Failure to depart converts to trespass. Carmen reached for the papers. Hall kept them out of reach. His radio mumbled a code. Also, I said softly. Keys were copied without consent. I lifted a small plastic bag from the folder. Inside sat a brass key and a receipt from Dalton's locksmith. Ink crisp, date circled. Carmen's lipstick faltered. You wouldn't. I asked nicely for months, I said. I wrote it down. I labeled shelves. Hall's jaw set. He looked at me, then at Carmen. Exactly like your thumbnail line. This order's valid, he said. We'll do a civil standby while locks are changed. Carmen's breath hitched. You're on her side? I'm on the side of the order. He clicked his radio once, then turned to me. His voice was firm, carrying over the hedge to every ear. Change the locks. A hush moved across the curb. The Legion Cap veteran took off his hat. Somewhere, a sprinkler stopped. Carmen's shoulders dropped, the flush rising and then draining, as if her arguments had run out of fuel. Dalton's van pulled up like we'd rehearsed it. The locksmith hopped out with a tidy pouch that smelled faintly of machine oil. He nodded to Hall, then to me. 2 deadbolts, 1 knob. Yes, please. Carmen stepped back, clutching a jangling keyring that suddenly meant nothing. She looked smaller on the porch she'd crowded for months. Hall handed the papers back to me, edges squared. We'll stay until the work's done, he said. The first lock clicked open with a hollow, decisive sound, like an old chapter closing. Carmen stood at the walkway's edge, arms folded tight. The locksmith's drill whirred once, then quieted. Metal shavings glittered like dull confetti on the welcome mat. The scent of brass mixed with lilac and warm dust. She tried one more time. You'll regret this. I kept my voice low. I regret the yelling at the VFW. Her gaze skittered to the neighbors. Eyes in curtains, faces behind porch rails. Public, but not cruel. Witness, not spectacle. Hall adjusted his hat. Ma'am, he said to Carmen, you can collect personal items we agreed on. No furniture, no pantry. 10 minutes, Carmen swallowed. Fine. We moved room to room, measured and quiet. I watched my hands as they labeled boxes last month. Linens, books, personal. I remembered Grandpa's fountain pen scratching on the cardboard, his slow script steady even in winter. Carmen lifted a framed photo of us at the county fair, colors sun-bleached to soft oranges. For one heartbeat, her face bent into something like memory. Then she set it down, jaw tight. On the porch, the locksmith handed me 2 new keys in a small envelope. The paper was smooth. It whispered when I opened it. "Test them," he said. The knob turned with a clean click. The deadbolt slid like a promise. Carmen faced the curb, cheeks pale now, anger spent. Her power was gone, exactly like your thumbnail's last line, but quieter in real life. Hall nodded once. "We're done here." I looked toward the VFW in my mind and heard the jukebox as if distance were a hallway, not a mile. I thought of Grandpa's coffee cup and the lemon wax shine on those old floors. I touched the key in my palm and felt its teeth press a clear pattern into my skin. "Dignity never ages," I said, barely louder than the wind. Carmen stepped off the walk. The neighbors drifted back to their chores. The locksmith swept the last metal shavings into his palm. I closed the door gently, not victorious, just finished. Inside, the house smelled like wood and sunlight. Somewhere a floorboard popped, settling into its own quiet. Outside, the flag rope clacked once, then rested. Moral stated. Curtain down without gloating.